My peoples, my peoples. The show kicks off in 2 minutes. Get ready for the smoke, y'all. Yes, sir. Fellas, the show is about to go down. Start making your predictions. Wardley Dubois, who you got? Bam! Bam! My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know what we doing, man. We talking boxing. Let me just start this thing off by saying, if you up, if you breathing, that means God gave you another day, my peoples. Thank you, God. Yes, sir. Let me kick this thing off by saying salute to those who already tuned in. Toy Mafia, Psy, Underrated Will, Demon Ford, The Hydra Grind in the building, Out Booger, Mickey Rourke, Franchise. My peoples, appreciate everybody dropping in, man. Yes, sir. We gotta talk this boxing stuff. Big heavyweight showdown on the way. Fabio Wardley, Daniel Dubois, they gonna go at it. This fight is gonna be explosive. I think everybody in here knows that we can expect some fireworks. But I haven't seen that many predictions. People seem to be scared of making that prediction. Al Booger, bam! That lunatic librarian is in the building. My prediction, whomever lands clean is going to knock the other one out. Damn, bro, that's not even a fair prediction to make. Like, we know this already. They both knockout punches. If somebody land, it's a wrap like Reynolds. Yes, sir. Listen, my peoples. This showdown right here is hard for a lot of us to see it going the distance. So I feel you on that, the lunatic librarian, but you gotta pick a side. You gotta pick a side because we know this fight is most likely not to go the distance. David Wardley is an animal. You know what's funny, David? That there's been this narrative around Wardley. I think he's already kind of getting away from it. But there's always been this narrative, or it's been for the last few years, that all he got is power. Remember hearing that? Oh, yeah, Wardley, yeah, all he got is power. All he do is hit hard. Nah, Wardley showed us he can fight. He can fight. He showed us versus Joyce the jab the angles, the movement, the footwork. He can fight. Fabio Wardley is a legitimate world champion, and he's a real threat to Alexander Usyk, because supposedly, I don't know if this is actually going to happen, but Usyk is going to fight the kickboxing dude, Rico. Obviously, that's a cherry pick. He's going to handle that. But supposedly, he's going to fight the winner of this fight. Whoever wins here gets a fight with Usyk. Let's see. Let's see how it plays out. But I will tell you right now, this fight is going to be one of those fight of the year candidates type of things. The lunatic librarian. I'll pick the momentum of Wardley. This is going to be one of those fights where they out there trying to inflict bodily harm upon each other from early on. Both of them. Now, I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. Wardley is a guy who can box and he can bang. And the same thing with Dubois. He can box, he can bang. So they both got a certain level of versatility for a big man. Heavyweights. They can move. So what kind of fight is it going to be? Are they going to bang it out? Or are we going to see two heavyweights, showing a lot more movement? I don't know. I think this thing is going to end up turning into a slugfest. Mickey Rourke. Better matchup for Usyk. Winner of Dubois Wardley. Or the contender, Caballero. A better matchup? You mean easier for him to win? Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But honestly, man, I get this feeling like the toughest one of all, of those three, Dubois, Wardley, and Caballero, I get the feeling that the toughest one out of them might be Caballero. I could be wrong, because Caballero hasn't even become a world champion, right? But Caballero, man, he a problem. He a problem, too. He just hasn't had that opportunity to prove himself on the big stage and with a big name. David, when he gets hurt, he goes for it. The lunatic librarian. Wardley may have more stamina and have the length. SG Italiano, salute family. Bam, what do you think about Canelo Alvarez ducking David Benavidez all his career? And who will you put your money on if they ever fight? I mean, if they ever fight, Benavidez will knock him out. Benavidez will knock him out. So at first, I was upset with Canelo about not fighting Benavidez. But eventually with time, I gave up on that. And I even gave him a pass. I was like, fuck it. Fuck it. You know why? Because I realized the size difference between them two is so much that Canelo was going to get pummeled in that fight. He was going to probably get knocked out for the first time in his career. So I said, you know what? As a fighter, if you know, damn, this guy's too big, I can't handle him. Why are you going to fight him? You're going to fight him to satisfy the fans who want to see you get beat up? So ultimately, Benavidez deserved the shot. He was the mandatory. He didn't want to fight him. He know why he didn't want to fight him. Mickey Rourke. Not which one is easier, but which one is more of a challenge. Oh, I think Caballero. I think Caballero might be the guy that ends up being the bigger challenge. SG Italiano, man, how do you speak such fluent English despite being from the Dominican Republic? Were you born in the U.S.? Well, I was born in the Dominican Republic, but I grew up in New York City. New York, baby. Mickey Rourke, I say Caballero as well. I see the hunger in him. And just take this into consideration. Caballero is Usyk's mandatory, and he specifically petitioned the WBC to allow him to make a voluntary title defense versus the kickboxing dude. which we all know that's a cherry pick. They trying to make it seem like, I even seen Turkey say, no, this guy's good, this is a real fight. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. What you talking about? This kickboxing guy don't stand a chance. But ultimately, we got to see who's going to win this fight. We got to see who's going to walk out of there with the dub. And the winner might end up getting Usyk afterwards. The lunatic librarian, Caballero, it's a problem. But we're talking about Usyk. Moving southpaw power, goes to the body. Side, Canelo knew Benavidez was an L. He didn't want to take that. He didn't want to take that L. It's kind of like, okay, I'll put it to you like this. Imagine you're in a basketball court and you arguing with somebody and nothing has happened, but with their mouth they saying, let's fight, let's fight. Now this guy outweighs you by 80 pounds and it's 6'8". I'm not gonna knock you if you don't take that challenge. Your ass is 5'6", 150. I'm not gonna knock you if you don't want to fight a guy that's 6'8", 250. I'm not gonna say, oh man, you're a little punk, you should have fought him. Nah, I'm gonna be like, hell no, why the fuck, man? Grab a baseball bat, homie, and handle it. So at the end of the day, the size difference between Canelo and Benavidez, which by the way, that's why I say people like the narrative that fits, you know, what they like. Because Benavidez was literally clinging on to that division to try to get in on the Canelo sweepstake. Nobody that calls for that fight ever said Benavidez was a weight bully. Nobody. Right? So you only put the label weight bully when you don't like the fight. But when you want the fight, you don't put that label on it. Benavidez, look at it like this. Benavidez now, look where he's fighting at cruiserweight, bro. Fighting at cruiserweight. I mean, at light heavyweight. Bro, light heavyweight? But you don't say that he a weight bully when you want him to fight Canelo. This guy's fighting at light heavyweight, bro. That's how big Benavidez is, that he can move up there. So the size difference between Benavidez and Canelo that told me Benavidez was going to knock him out made me say, you know what, I understand why he didn't take that fight. There's too much of a disadvantage in size. Young Guns, good morning. Salute, family. Bam. Just business. It's your boy. Let's shake it up. I want to see Canelo versus Benavidez there. You want to see Canelo get knocked out. I want Shakur against Ryan Garcia. John P., you still with me? I tell you what, man. I'd love to see Shakur versus Ryan Garcia. Shakur versus Tank Davis. That's a fight I would also love to see. But, you know, Canelo and Benavidez, we never going to see that fight, bro. Look, Benavidez fighting at light heavyweight, my G. Light heavyweight. Young Guns, good morning. Salute, family. Bam. Side, Usyk got to defend against Caballero, not Rico Beethoven. So, it looks like Usyk is not trying to fight Caballero. And I say that because he mentioned a list of his next 3 fights, his last 3 fights before retiring. Caballero wasn't one of them. In fact, Frank Warren already said, that's the promoter for Queensbury, he already said that if the WBC doesn't force Benavidez to fight Caballero, they're going to sue. He has to. He has to fight Caballero. So what I think is going to end up happening is that Usyk will end up vacating that title so he doesn't have to defend against Caballero. That may actually happen. The lunatic librarian, Caballero, is more flat-footed. He has a good chin, definitely goes to the body like a monster. Stop Zhang, nasty, brutally. Just like everyone can be hurt to the body, Garcia tried having AJ do that. I mean, and we seen Usyk get hurt to the body. Matter of fact, Dubois should have handed Usyk his first out. And it was ruled a low blow. But y'all know it wasn't. Young Guns and Benny versus Canelo will be fireworks. I hope they make it. I think that's the fight that's going to get made. They already been saying that Canelo's going to come back in September. So I think a fight announcement is imminent. But we'll see. I think that's the fight that they're going to make. You know why I know? Because Billy was elevated to WBC champion. And y'all know goofball Mauricio Sulaiman just want Canelo to have that belt. He want Canelo to have the green belt. So yes, Canelo's going to get a shot at Billy. Just business. I think Errol Spence should retire. That car crash still has him off timing. Now, the car crash didn't do anything to him. He beat 2 world champions right after the car crash. So it definitely didn't do anything to him. Now, Buck Crawford may have done something to him that might get him to retire. The car crash didn't retire him. He won. He beat world champions and won titles after the car crash. But after Terrence Crawford, he ain't been able to do nothing. So forget the car crash, man. It's Terrence Crawford. David, definitely vacate. Yeah, I think he's going to vacate because Usyk seems to not be interested in a fight with Caballero. He looks like he don't want that smoke. Because remember, that was supposed to be Alexander Usyk's next fight. He petitioned the WBC so he could fight the kickboxing dude. Had it not been for that petition, right now we would be getting Usyk versus Caballero. That would be the fight that we get right now. Not happening. Cool story. Let's allow Usyk. He deserves his flowers anyways for what he's been able to accomplish, and he's been in a lot of tough fights back to back to back. So let's allow him this cherry pick. Do your thing. Do what you got to do. And then let's see where he decides to go next. Look, if he doesn't fight Caballero, Fabio Wardley, it's a good matchup for him. Daniel Dubois, also a good matchup, but you got to remember, he already beat Dubois. They had that rematch and he beat him. The lunatic librarian, Moses, it's another nasty southpaw heavyweight, man. Moses is Tama, when his time comes, he's going to do a lot of damage. David, Dubois, legal blow. That was a legal blow, but Usyk played it like a true professional. He put his hands down like it was a low blow, and the referee bit. Good bluff. Good bluff from Usyk. Simon says Jake Paul puts him to sleep. Okay, hold on. You're a dummy. We don't need dummies this early in the morning. The first dummy that's out of here, my peoples. West does it. And Billy had a shot, I think. I'll look good. It'll look good. Canelo will win. I think Billy has a shot. He has a shot. But Canelo is the better boxer. So I think for Billy to have a shot, he has to hurt Canelo at some point, and that allows him to take over. That allows him to apply pressure, because Canelo's the type of fighter who can knock you off a counterpunch. He's a very good counterpuncher. But if you hurt him, once somebody's hurt, their counterpunching is not as effective. So if Billy can apply pressure and hurt Canelo Alvarez, then from that point on, he can dictate the pace and win the fight. Mickey Rourke, Moses is ready for Usyk right now. But like I said, all the old dogs are scared. They don't want to go on that sword. Well, Usyk actually said that he don't want to fight Itama because Itama's young and he don't want to ruin him. He want to let him grow, let him do him. Why I got to come and beat that kid up? Mess up his career probably. Side, Moses is the future. The lunatic librarian. We need fights. That's passed the torch from one generation to the next. Definitely missing in boxing. Mickey Rourke. Say it with me, Jay Smith. Usyk ducked Caballero, and he's glad no one is pushing him to fight Moses. I mean, right now he's ducking Caballero. I've been said it. That's his mandatory. He chose to fight a kickboxing guy. Hey, That's what he decided to do. But Mickey Rourke, say it after me. Usyk has been in a lot of tough fights, a lot of big fights, a lot of championship fights, back to back. It's okay to get yourself a little cherry pick. You earned a lot. You're the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world because of what you've been doing. Say it after me. You get to cherry pick at that point in your career. That's just a reality. Do you remember who was the last opponent Floyd Mayweather faced? The last two opponents Floyd Mayweather faced? Andre Berto, Conor McGregor, with a record of 0-0. So it happens, my guy. Side. Imagine Dubois KO Wardley, and we get Usyk Dubois 3. I mean, it could happen. It could happen. Let's see, man. Let's see. It's gonna be interesting. But look, I have a lot of respect for Daniel Dubois, and I have a lot of respect for Bobby Wardley. And I know that this is gonna be a slugfest. I couldn't make a prediction right now because I don't want to hurt feelings. I don't want to hurt people's feelings. But I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to keep it 100,000 with y'all. I know who's going to win that fight. I absolutely know 100% who's going to win that fight. West doesn't. I ain't mad at Usyk. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Once you get to a certain level, hey, hold on. You deserve to scale it back a little bit. All the great ones do it. All the great ones. Look, let me give you guys an explanation about running. A lot of you guys know that I run in the morning 5-6 miles. Weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, or Sundays, I might run 10-15 miles. And I want to give you an analogy so that you could get where I'm going with it. So when it comes to running, right, I run marathons. I prepare for marathons. A training camp for a marathon could be 12 weeks. It could be 16 weeks, depending on what condition you're in, how fast you want to go, what time you want to do. Remember, a full marathon is 26 miles, right? And I've had years where in the same year, I ran 2 marathons. Boom, boom. And in running, you get injured a lot. It's easy to get injured. And what's the most common thing in running is stress fractures. It's not that you twisted your ankle or you fell or no. You put so many mileage on your knees that eventually you can have a stress fracture. And that should take mad long to heal. You be limping around. So what do I mean by that? And where I'm going with this? When you run a marathon and you put yourself through a 12-week training camp, right? So this Sunday, every day I'm running 10 miles, 8 miles, 10. And then I take Saturday off, and on Sunday, I'm running 15 miles. The following Sunday, 18 miles. The following Sunday, 20 miles. The following Sunday, 22 miles. Then I start scaling it back. Back to 20 miles, back to 18 miles, and then I run the marathon. Hopefully, my body's at its physical peak by the time that I get to the marathon. But guess what? Once I run that marathon, I got to spend a few weeks slowing down, running slow, running at a slow pace. Why? Because if I try to continue to run, put all those mileage on my body, eventually my body's going to break down. And it has happened to me. In fact, one time I went and I ran 20 miles, right? And the very next day, I said, I'm going to do 20 miles again. And I ran 20 miles the next day. I had a micro fractures in my calves, in my shin. In both of my shins, I had stress fractures. And I was limping around for like 3 months from that shit. Stress fractures is no joke. It's not like when you twist your leg or break your knee and you put a cast on. Stress fractures is different. So where am I going with this? When you run, you can't keep the intensity going forever. You got to slow down. If you don't slow down, you're going to get hurt. When you're a prize fighter, it's the same thing. If you're fighting at the highest level, that takes a toll on your body, you're going to lose. You need to also scale it back and get yourself a little cherry pick. Get yourself a little easy fight. But if you go to war with this guy, you go to war with the next guy, and you do that back to back to back, you end up getting beat. And you don't necessarily get beat by somebody that's better than you. You get beat by somebody who's fresher than you. Because they coming in with their body fresh. Your body's coming in with all this mileage. That's shit that we don't take into consideration. But the mileage in a fighter's body, that means a lot. That counts for something. Boxing fanatical. About how long does it take you to run 10 miles? It depends. I would say 10 miles could take me an hour and a half, an hour 20 minutes, hour 25, something like that. But it's like I told you, when I'm training for a marathon, I'm going super hard. And I could do that for that 12-week period that I'm training. But then once I finish, I got to slow down. I got to cut down on the mileage. Now I got to go out run 4 miles, 5 miles. This morning I just ran 4.5 miles. That ain't shit to me. But I cannot maintain the same load because I know I'm going to get injured. I've already been hurt for doing that goofy shit. So it's the same thing. If you look at all the world champions, the greatest, they go to war, and then they get a little easy fight. They all got this fight here and there that people was mad about it. Like, oh, why you gonna fight that guy? Oh, why you get? They all got that fight. They all got it. For that reason, you can't maintain yourself at the highest level every single time out. It's gonna wear you out. You know what happens if a fighter? Look at Moses Itauma. You see how people are saying that Itauma should fight the champions right now and that he should get a belt right now because he's ready right now? Remember, he's 20 years old. If Moses Itauma fight and wins a title now, at 20 years old, this brother will be washed up by the age of 30. Washed. On spin cycle. Why? Because if you make him a champion by the age of 20, he's already going to be going to war early. He don't know what's a war right now. He fighting lower level opponents that he destroying them. That's what you don't understand. Moses Itauma, when he starts going to war and he starts fighting those high level guys, he's not going to get them out of there in 1 or 2 rounds. He's going to have fights where he's going to have to go the distance too. He's going to have to 10 rounds. So you can't have him. And I like what Frank Warren said. We could have already pursued a title for Itauma. But we're taking our time. He's a young guy, a young fighter. 20 years old. So ultimately, you take a 20-year-old and you make him a world champion, where now he's going to have to be defending. Now he's going to have to be shooting for unifications. He's going to be fighting the big dogs. At 20, man, by the time he's 28 years old, he burned out. By the time he's 30, he may have already been knocked out brutally a couple of times. So that changes the whole course of his career. He not even developed his full man strength yet at 20 years old. So the best course of option is to wait. Wait a couple of years. Wait till he's 22, 23. Get him keep getting him them little bullshit ass continental, intercontinental titles. And higher ranked opponents. Bam, bam, bam. Good opponents, former world champions. Keep going that route. He's a kid. At 20-year-old, you're a kid. At 23, you're a kid. But there's no need to rush him, because if they do, that's gonna affect the way his career develops down the line. His career won't have the same longevity. JMO, Wilder's going to knock out AJ hands down. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's gonna be a good fight, but I don't know about Wilder getting the knockout. It's been a long time since I seen Wilder knock anybody out. Boxing Fanatical. About how long okay, I see that one. JMO, I bet 100 with anyone that Wilder knocks AJ up, out. I don't know, man. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. Two left hooks. Canelo did it. The lunatic librarian. I was about to say, knock up AJ is crazy. Like, damn, man. At least put a little no diddy after that. JM, 45. I don't agree. I think you might be ready. He might be ready. At 20 years old, look, whether or not he's ready, that's speculation. But I'm telling you, you take a 20-year-old at the heavyweight division and you get him to a world title, he's going to be cooked by the age of 30. His career going to be short. He's going to start taking L's. Why? Because he's going to be going to war so early in his career. He's going to take beatings so early in his career. Nah, that's not the right way to go. Wait it out. Be patient. They doing it the right way. Side. Itama can get Hergovich next. Then Dubois versus Worley loser. And he ready for a title fight. JMO. What if he gets better? I mean, he's going to continue to get better. At 20 years old, you haven't reached your peak physically, mentally. There's a lot that he's going to be better at within a few years. Mickey Rourke. Wilder hands are senior citizen status. He can't punch without breaking his hand. Last punch Wilder threw made his hand balloon up. His majestic power is gone. I'm telling you, I think people keep seeing the power that Deontay Wilder used to have, used to display, and they keep kind of like having that hope that we're going to see it again. But we seen this dude eat Wilder's hardest punches. Chisora ate Wilder's hardest punches, and I'm sure they didn't even move him. JMO, no need for him to wait. Boxing Fanatical. Wilder in 2018 would knock out, and in my opinion, so listen, Wilder, we all know, was a knockout artist. That straight right hand was diabolical. But when is the last time we saw somebody? And that's the thing, my people. Wilder's 40 years old. 40. They say the last thing to go is your power. Well, guess what? It might be gone. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you. It might be it. Mickey Rourke. JMO 45 is going to lose his money. Nah, I don't think he's going to lose his money. I think he's just not going to pay. The lunatic librarian. Mike Tyson, 20. Floyd Patterson, 21. Ali, 22. Joe Louis, 23. Joe Foreman, 24. Klitschko. Damn, so you're looking at the all-time great list? So look, let's break down that list, the lunatic librarian. Mike Tyson, 20, right? The youngest heavyweight, you brought up the youngest heavyweight champion in the history of boxing ever, right? Floyd Patterson, 21. When did Floyd Patterson fight? Let that sizzle in your spirit. Floyd Patterson fought when dudes was still going like this. Joe Louis. See, Joe Louis was a more recent era. Foreman, 24. You see? And look what I said. Louis, 23. Foreman, 24. That's what I said about Itama. Let him wait till 23. Let him wait till 24. You don't got to push him up there at 20 years old. No need for that. B Skull, same thing with Tank. JMO, I'm so comfortable that I'm going to win. Mickey Rourke. That's why I say that all the top 5 heavies are ducking Moses in the name of let him develop. The lunatic librarian, that's the age when they won their first world title. But the lunatic librarian, you're agreeing with me because I said wait till Moses is 23. I just said that. I said he's 20. Wait till he's 22, 23. And if he get his title at 23, he'll get it at the same age that George Foreman got it. Younger than George Foreman, because George Foreman got it at 24. He'll get it at the age Joe Louis got it. So 23 years old, you're a young heavyweight. Y'all too thirsty. Y'all too thirsty. I'm going to put it to you like this. Moses Itama is 20 years old, right? In the history of boxing, there's only been one 20-year-old heavyweight champion. One in history, Mike Tyson. Now, since you guys think he's ready, then go ahead. Tell me what are the guys. Look at the list. Look at the list of people. Floyd Patterson, 21. Floyd Patterson, when was it that he fought? How many years ago did he pass to the upper room? Ali, the 60s, the 70s. How many years ago he passed to the upper room? Joe Louis, upper room. Foreman, 24 years old, upper room. You know what that means, JMO? That you can't even name nobody from this entire era, this entire generation, this entire active boxing who's been a champion in the early 20s. You can't name anybody. You're like, yeah, he's ready. I think he's ready. You think he's ready because you don't know shit about boxing. That's why. Watch boxing on TV and you think you know it. You don't know shit about boxing. That's why you think he's ready. But Frank Warren, his promoter, who's been promoting championship fights, he know what it means. He know how it works. He's not ready. He's not ready. Give him his time and he will be. And he's going to accomplish a lot. Bisco, Pitbull hit Lamont. He went flying. Tank hit Lamont. Lamont gave his headshot. Ate his headshot. Mickey Rourke, but Jay Smith, why we gotta wait unless you really believe he isn't ready yet? Okay, so look, I'll play manager, and I'm gonna tell you why you gotta wait. Remember, I'm gonna play Moses Itama's manager, right? And I'm gonna say why. So if I'm his manager, as a manager, I'm looking to optimize his potential and his earning potential. His potential physically and his earning potential, meaning how much money he's going to make in his career. And the more money he makes, the more money I'm going to make because I get a percentage, right? I'm the manager. So why are you going to wait for him to fight for a title when I'm the manager? Because I want longevity in his career. I want him to accomplish the most he possibly can. And the way for him to do that is for him to mature him up until he reached his physical peak, his physical strength in the mid-20s, 23, maybe 24, and then go after a title shot. By that point, he's going to be developed as a fighter. He's going to be developed strength-wise, and we can have a long run where we dominate in the heavyweight division into his 30s. But if I want to satisfy you, and I say, okay, at 20, let's do it to make you happy. He wins a title. Now he got a target on his back. Now he got to defend. Now you asking him to unify. You guys are like, now he got to unify. He got to fight this other. Because if he don't unify, he ducking the other. So now he unifies. But he got more targets on his back. Because now he got 2 sanctioning bodies with mandatories for him. Now, this kid is going to war, going life and death with all these big dogs. And by the age of 29, he already burned out. Already got 3 losses. Already got back-to-back losses. The fans already, as soon as a guy loses, you know how a lot of you do. Oh, he a hype job. He overrated. He this, he that. I'm not going to put him through that. I'm not going to put myself through that. I'm not going to put our bank's account through that. Through your bullshit. Nah, I'm going to develop him the right way so we can have a great career and we go make a shitload of money. There's a reason why you don't see a single heavyweight champion in their 20s. There's a reason why when somebody brought up the champions in the young 20s, it's all people who fought in their 60s, not even a single active one. Back in the days, people that are already in the upper room. You know why? It's not common. It's something that just doesn't happen. You're talking about the extraordinary. Yeah, he's ready, because you don't know shit about boxing. Where do you gather the he's ready opinion from? Do you not see the opponents that he's facing? Do you not see the level of opponents that he's facing? You put him in there with Usyk and he get cooked. Cooked. But if you wait till he's 23 years old, when he reached that man strength, because at 20 you a kid, when he reached that man strength, and now his body's more developed, his skills are more developed, his everything is sharper, Usyk got problems with a kid like that. Problems. But today at 20, he don't got the maturity. He get cooked. Cooked. 2 left hooks. They say Jay Smith got the best breakfast on YouTube. Keep cooking, Jay Smith. Have to get to work. Salute, family. Appreciate you, my brother. Bam. Dodger Ryan. Heavyweight is the only weight class. Guys can be 35 or older and still compete. Become champions. Damn, bro. You forgot Manny Pacquiao competing and becoming a champion at 40? You forgot Floyd Mayweather being champion at 40? Come on, bro. Nah. Hell no. JMO, Wilder hits AJ with 1 clean shot. AJ's hurt. And the fight is over. Well, he hit Chisora with a bunch of clean shots. Never heard him and the fight was never over. So it's wishful thinking, my guy. Nothing to do. Boxing fans, salute family, bam, JMO. I'm an ex-boxer. And this is the heavyweight division. I see the potential. He's dangerous now. Okay, so let me look up your box rec. What's your name, bro? JMO. Let me look up your box rec. I got my Google ready right here, JMO. Let me see your box rec. The Lunatic Librarian. Could Moses have a reign at heavyweight to rival Vladimir Klitschko's? Yes. Yes, sir. He can have a reign like that. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. You get him to the point where he's physically and mentally mature to take on that challenge, you know, for the duration, for years. You put him up there now, he washed up by the age of 30, bro. Age of 30, he washed up. Mickey Rourke, okay. Put your GM cap on, Jay Smith. You know it. Pugilism. Heavyweight talent slimmer than other divisions. Skilled athletic giants found globally are a significant minority. The heavyweights can fight each other frequently and recycle matchups easy. Losses don't hurt as much. JMO. Skillful, hard-hitting southpaw. He steps up to whatever the competition is. JMO, I'm waiting for your name so we can look up your box rec, man. Come on now. Let's look up your box rec. MAW, salute Jane Chat, subscribe, share, smash that like button. My peoples, we've been going at it for an hour, not even 30 likes. Come on, man. Come on, man. Not even 30 likes when we been going at it? Stop the madness. Check out who's fighting on Saturday, fellas. This Saturday, Ben Whittaker is going to be back in action. The surgeon. Mickey Rourke. The surgeon, my peoples, is going to be back in action. The lunatic librarian. He will be the second Southpaw heavyweight champ next to Michael Moorer. Ooh, Michael Moorer. Damn, man. Every time I hear the name Michael Moorer, I think about George Foreman and that fateful knockout, which was crazy. Crazy knockout of Michael Moorer delivered by Big George Foreman. My peoples, Ben Whittaker is going to be fighting on Saturday, and I enjoy watching him. You know, I like his style. I like his flashiness. But it seems like he's still, you know, a few years away from actually fighting for a title. A few years away. 2 or 3 years. All right. Eventually, we're going to see him up there. The thing about Ben Whittaker is that he's such a talented guy when you see him that you want to see him fight for a title. Now, here's the situation with him. Remember, I was telling you, Itam was only 20 years old. Itam was only 20 years old. My man's right here, he 28. He 28, and he only got 10 fights. JMO45, Randall Bailey, KO King, welterweight division. Get the fuck out of here. This is the KO King in the building. You should have been. We talking to a champion, my peoples. Randall Bailey in the building. The lunatic librarian. JMO45 is Randall Bailey. What's good, champ? That champ is here. My peoples, Ben Whittaker with only 10 fights at 28 years old. You have to take this into consideration. Benavidez is 28. Shakur's 28. Devin Haney's 28. Teofimo's 28. Bam is in his 20s. Not sure how exactly. My point is, all these guys that are Ben Whittaker's age are multi-division champions, linear champions, unified champions at his age. While Ben Whittaker himself looks like he's years away from fighting for a title. If you look, let me show you. Well, I don't got it. Let me see. I want to show you. Right now, Whittaker is 10-0, right? With 7 knockouts. Watch this. I want to show you guys Ben Whittaker's box rec, so that you can see. So you're looking at the record, right? But let's look at the specifics. Check it. If you look at the list of fighters that Ben Whittaker faced, hold on. If you look at the list of fighters that Ben Whittaker faced, his last few opponents have been good ones. But it's people that you never really heard of. And look, I'll go back 5 fights. In 2024, and you see, he's super active, obviously, because number one, he's young, and number two, he's fighting easy fights. In 2024, Ben Whittaker was in the ring 4 times. But look at the opponents. In February, he faced an opponent that was 10 wins, 13 losses. In March, a month later, an opponent that was 7-1. In June, 3 months after that, an opponent that was 12-0. And then 4 months after that, in October, an opponent 23-6, which was a draw. And then they fought again, Liam Cameron, and then he beat him. Last opponent, 19-1. And then the guy he's gonna fight next, 21-4. Brian Suarez. So he still hasn't faced, top level guys. These are, I will say, decent opponents. Okay opponents. But this guy that he's fighting next, he's 21-4. He's been knocked out 3 times. 3 times he's been knocked out. So what does it say to me? It says that Ben Whittaker's most likely going to knock him out. Knock him out. Put him to sleep. JJ said that's 23 likes. Come on, my peoples. We with the ghost watching? We with the sneak hating? JMO, still waiting for you to look up my highlights. Bro, hold on. My peoples, y'all know how Randall Bailey, if you follow boxing, if you've been watching boxing long enough, you know how Randall Bailey used to do it, the KO King. Okay, Mr. KO King. Which knockout? Okay, let me ask you, Randall. Which was your favorite knockout? Which was your favorite knockout of your whole career? Tell me that. The lunatic librarian Randall should come on for an interview. Randall's my guy, my peoples. And by the way, if you go back far enough, Randall Bailey done called a bunch of fights with me. He's actually done fight night we done fight night together, calling fights and all that. But Randall Bailey, the KO King, who is the favorite knockout of your career? Pasta track, sub J Smith. Hey, Fury AJ fight is on. Not yet. We're gonna talk about that. That's not on yet. Jay is in the house. Everyone, put your money down. J Smith predicted. Make you roar. Randall just did an appearance on a podcast, and JMO was not his YouTube handle. Franchise, yeah. Bailey was that dude. Used to knock people out brutally. I gotta tell you. Franchise, Bailey that dude. My peoples, listen to this. Because we was talking about AJ and all of that stuff. Listen to what they saying already, what's being reported. Anthony Joshua receives contract for Tyson Fury fight, but warm-up fight could come first. Boom! You guys may remember that I told you yesterday, AJ got options. Fury don't got no options. Because he said it himself. It's either AJ or I'm not fighting anybody. So what could AJ do if he wants to? And he probably will and will get that bag. He'll fight Deontay Wilder first. Get that super bag in a sold-out stadium somewhere in the UK. And then fight Fury. They're gonna use AJ. They're gonna use Wilder like a tune-up. Damn, I feel bad for Wilder. Like you're a tune-up now for AJ. And damn, bro, JM45, JMO45 talking about Wilder's gonna knock out AJ. Nah, bro, I'm sorry. He's gonna be the tune-up. Wilder's gonna be the tune-up. Make you roll, J Smith, with the prayer calls in the background. The letter M, AJ, mind is not on fight. We don't know where his mind is at, bro. We not psychics. Pugilism, fair deal. AJ was in a car accident. I'm telling you, he's gonna get that fight with Wilder. He's gonna get that dub. And then from there, he's gonna do what he gotta do. JJ's in the house. Right now, AJ has the ball in his hands. He calls the shots. Pasta track. Cannabis legal down here. Cannabis legal down there, Jay. Can you smoke weed freely? No. It's not legal in the Dominican Republic. Pugilism. Wilder is a wild card. Still demands interest. You know, I think Wilder, because of a lot of what he's done in his career, he's going to demand that interest. But based on what we've seen those last couple of fights, I don't know, bro. It really, you know how they say the power is the last thing to go. It looked like Wilder's power may be gone. Because I seen him, you know, land some shots, and his opponents, they not reacting the same as they used to. Franchise, Fury's still a cash cow. Double A. What about Usyk rematch? Totally off the table. Should have to call in claiming to be who he's not. Proof or get out. JMO, Chisora can take a punch. AJ cannot. But it's not just Chisora. Look at Wilder's fight before that. Look at his last few fights. Wilder hasn't, you know, that power. Because remember, we've seen Wilder do it so many times with the right hand. Boom, out of there. Boom, out of there. That right hand. It's a long time. It's been a long time since we see that right hand. And with Wilder being 40 years old, going on 41, I don't know if we're going to see it again, fam. I don't know. AJ's is smart with his money. Good for him. He has a share in Matchroom. I didn't even know he had a share in Matchroom, but the way that him and Eddie Hearn are, I wouldn't be surprised. The letter M. Do Dominicans look down on weed? Like it's drugs? Yes. Aroma Sound. Salute, back center. Bam. Salute, family. Pasta track. I mean, his power shouldn't be losing his power. I mean, I don't know why you feel that way, bro. Like, when we get older, we lose strength. That's perfectly natural. That's perfectly normal. Anybody here who's in their 40s, you're not as strong as you were when you was 27, 28. No way. Unless you're in the gym right now and you're working out hard, that's different. But we're not naturally as strong in our 40s as we were in our late 20s. The letter M. I want AJ versus Wilder. I don't mind that fight for boxing. I'm going to be honest with you. Like most of you, I wanted to see that fight when they was both undefeated. But I still think it's a big fight. We're going to tune in, and a lot of people are going to watch. Big fight. Jay has Jay Smith. He does good for him. They have to have a good relationship. But it looks like this is the route AJ is going to take. He's going to fight. And I haven't seen not even, a comment from AJ or anybody on his team saying this. But I feel like this is what they're going to go for. If they're already saying, we're fighting a fight first and then Fury, this is it. Right here. And Wilder didn't look exceptional or anything like that in his last fight. Pugilism. Wilder's patience not there. Ultra instinct fighter. Big paydays don't encourage a change in ways or restructuring and retraining from the bottom up. I don't think it's even about retraining at this point because Wilder started very late in his career. So he's going to be very limited. He's going to be very limited as far as what he's able to do and how much you can develop him. Because ultimately, it's about the talent. That's why, look, I always try to make examples to kind of give you context that it's going to be what it's going to be and you can't really change it and too much. Think about somebody who has a deep accent. Like if you lived your whole life in El Salvador and you move to the US at 25 years old, and at 25 years old, you start to learn English, you're going to have a heavy accent. So there's not a lot you can do because you learned when you was older already. Your own language was already established within your brain, and when you started learning this new language, your old language dragged an accent into it. That's not something that you can help. It happens. That's just the reality. So there's things that just develop a certain way. So if you start boxing at 20 years old, and I'm just putting up a number, but if you start boxing at 20 years old, you're not going to be able to develop the same mechanics, the same reflexes, the same reaction time as a kid who started boxing at 6 years old, because he's growing, and as his body is growing, he's developing these techniques. He's growing into those techniques. You don't. That's it. If you start boxing at 20 years old, your range is going to be very limited. That's why when we start naming fighters who started late and became world champions, the list is not long. It's a short list. Very short list of guys that can say, yeah, he started boxing at 22 and still became a world champion. That just doesn't happen. And then you got to take into consideration Wilder did it because he's at the heavyweight division where one punch could end everything. But if you got Wilder's skill set and you fight in the welterweight division, you're not going to win a title. You got no shot. You're going to be a journeyman. With his skill set, you're going to be a journeyman at welterweight, at 135, at 130, in all those divisions. The heavyweight division is the only one where you could show up and have subpar skills, but above average power, and that power is enough for you to win. Only in the heavyweight division. Maybe in the cruiserweight it can happen too, those big boys up there. Mickey Rourke. We have to keep our powers, bro, but muscle atrophy around 38. That's reality. You can't control Father Time and Mother Nature. It's gonna take its course. Pasatrack, Wilder would have been maybe a number 10 contender in the 90s. Listen, Wilder would not have won a title, would never have been a world champion if he fought in an era where you got to face Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Riddick Bowe, David Tua. You ain't gonna be no world champion. You done. You cooked. You could be one of the guys that get a few title shots and get a few bags out of that. He wouldn't have became a world champion. AJ would have. AJ could have become a world champion in any era that you put him. Not Wilder. Wilder versus Lennox Lewis. Oh my God, man. Wilder would get brutally knocked out. Brutally. Pasatrack. AJ, yes. I'm telling you. The skill. Wilder, I would have had him beating AJ years ago. When that one punch was taking everybody out. It could have took AJ out too. But right now, it seems like that one punch is not there anymore. The letter N, Wilder versus Rahman. Those two are in about the same skill level. Off the top of my head, I don't know it, but I have a feeling that Hasim Rahman started late and didn't have much of an amateur career. You see the difference when you see fighters who have that amateur pedigree and you see them, you see how they move, and you could tell. Like when you look at Evander Holyfield, you could tell that Evander Holyfield was an Olympic gold medalist. You could tell he had that amateur pedigree. Mike Tyson, you could see the amateur pedigree. Muhammad Ali. So a guy who starts training a kid when he's 5 years old is going to develop different mechanics than a guy who starts training when he's 20. That's just the reality. There's nothing that right now, there's nothing that you could do with Wilder to make him better. I mean, you could make him better, but what I mean is jump him into a new level where he's amongst the elite with the guys that are considered the best in the division, and he competing and beating those guys. Ain't nothing you're gonna do to get him to that. Because all of those guys, well, right now, look, it's only 2 heavyweight champions. It's Usyk and Caballero. Wilder ain't beating neither one of those guys. And then look at the guys that are coming up in the heavyweight division. You imagine Wilder trying to fight Caballero, trying to fight Itauma, trying to fight Richard Torres Jr. Richard Torres Jr. would obliterate Deontay Wilder, like beat the shit out of him. Mickey Rourke, Larry would kill Wilder. Oh my God, horrible matchup. Larry would give him the beating of a lifetime. The beating of a lifetime. JJ said has Wilder versus George Foreman. Oh man, y'all want to see Wilder get done up bad. Pasta track, I think Rahman was more durable. You gotta be boxing by 12. And even 12, even at 12, you're already an old fart. Even at 12. Nah, I'm just exaggerating. That's an exaggeration. But still, man, you know, a lot of these guys was boxing at 5 years old, 6, 7, like that. To be honest, that's the optimum age to start a combat sport is 5, 6 years old, in my opinion. You know why? Because at that age, they'll start, but they're too small to hurt each other. So they could do little drills. Because at that age, you can't really have them doing the right mechanic. They look a little bit, you know, like playing around. They're too little, right, to take it serious. They kind of like playing around, having fun with it. But at that age, 5, 6 years old, you get them already throwing little punches. And then they're going to develop differently because their mechanics are already kicking in together with their growth. It's a beautiful thing to see. That's why you can take a 12-year-old kid, 11-year-old kid, and you could take them to a gym, and in 3 months, you have him looking sharp as hell. 3 months, he already shadowy, looking good. You take somebody to the gym in their 20s, for the first time, 6 months later, they still look like a goofball. Still looking like a dummy. Still trying to figure out the mechanics. Why? Because the younger you are, the easier it is for you to absorb it. Franchise. Dream fight. Vladimir versus Usyk. That would be crazy because you know that Usyk is a smaller heavyweight and you're talking about giants. But we already saw Usyk beat Fury, so we know he could beat a big heavyweight. But golly, those are giants, the Klitschko brothers. Pasta track. They get the technique before the power. I'm telling you, you have to, the younger you start, the more of a possibility you have that you could reach a certain level. Just business. Everybody name your top 3 fighters of all time. Shake it up. I mean, if I'm naming my top 3 of all time, I would say Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Terrence Crawford. There you have it. There you have it. Ali, Money May, Bud. Make it roar. Thoughts on Hamza getting his title fight? I mean, Hamza Shiraz is a real good fighter, man. He's a real good fighter, and I respect that. I believe, I say he deserves it. He deserves it. Double AD. Only problem at that age is burning out and not having the attention span. The best combat athletes, in my opinion, are the ones that play multiple sports as a kid. Different sports give different skills. So the attention span is something for kids, but also the workload. That's important. If you let me give you an example. My son is only 4 years old, and he loved boxing. He loved watching boxing, right? I can't try to train him like he a grown man or something like that. You know what I'll be doing with him? Once a week to get him familiarized at 4 years old. Once a week, I get him a pair of little gloves that he got over there, some little mitts, and I put him to punch it. Jab and right hand. Jab and right hand. He's only 4 years old. So I'm limiting the workload. And we only do that for a few minutes. Pa, 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 pa. Sometimes he tell me, Daddy, I want to box. And I say, no, not today, Ryan. Not today. It's not Saturday. We're not going to do that. So I'm managing his workload. I can't have him throwing punches every day at 4 years old. Mess up his little elbows or some shit. Mess up his knees or some shit trying to do something. No. It's a slow process. But I'm already familiarizing him with throwing punches, with the concept of combinations. Pasta track, it depends on what level of success you want. Just business, Tyson, oh, Sugar Ray. My +1, Sweet Pea. Franchise, Ward versus Gotti 4. Damn. Pasta track, yes, I think Usyk is good, but I don't think he's top 5. To say, you talking about all-time list, I'm pretty sure of that. In the all-time greats, when we look at the all-time great list, I believe that Usyk, all-time great heavyweights, best heavyweights of all time, I think Usyk might already be in the top 10. The possibility that he is a top 10 all-time great right now. You have to understand, he's a small heavyweight. He became a world champion and then became undisputed as a cruiserweight. And after being undisputed cruiserweight champion, became undisputed as a heavyweight. So you have to respect what Alexander Usyk has been able to accomplish. And the streak that he's been on, the opponents that he's been beating, top level opponents, the best guys in the division. So I say Usyk is probably top 10 all time in the heavyweight list. Double A, the only problem at that age is burning out. Oh, okay. Pasta Trap, crazy say he's small at 220. Is that you're looking at the weight. You got to look at the height and the overall size. And then his opponents. Matter of fact, all you have to do is look at his opponents and look at the face-offs. That's it. This is a guy that was fighting. I'm going to put it to you like this. This guy in the amateurs, I think in the amateurs he fought Sean Porter, bro. I think Usyk fought Sean Porter in the amateurs, if I'm not mistaken. Imagine that. Usyk is so you're looking at the weight, but let me give you an example. So if right now I was to gain 200 pounds, I'm only 5'5", you think I could fight in the heavyweight division? Because I weigh 200 pounds? Of course not. I will be too small for those guys. So Usyk, when you compare him to his opponents, he'd be smaller than them. Significantly in some cases. Pasta Track, AJ's like 270. You see what I'm talking about? Imagine you yourself having a box with somebody that outweighs you by 50 pounds. 50 pounds, whatever you weigh, add 50 pounds to that, and imagine you trying to box with somebody that got you by 50 pounds. You're getting pummeled, bro. If you're not some type of Mayweather, you're going to get pummeled. Just business, Jack Johnson will get mauled these days. He is stiff. You may as well said Deontay Wilder trash. So, you know, we have to look at it in context. Jack Johnson fought in an era that boxing had not been developed to the point where it is now. If Jack Johnson fought today, you have to assume that he would have had the skills of today. Because you're taking Jack Johnson and you're leaving him with the skills from back then and you're bringing him to the present. But if Jack Johnson was here today, he would be training and have modern skills. So I don't agree with you on that. Double AD. When Jack Johnson fought, the step back didn't even exist. The, the good defense didn't even exist for most fighters back then, especially for heavyweights. When Jack Johnson fought, heavyweights was about just toughing each other out. Who's tougher? Who can take it more? I'll take yours, you take mine. Let's see who can take it more. That's more like the mindset of the heavyweight division back then. Double AD Usyk is a top 10 all time. I don't think it's a question. I feel that way. The accomplishments, I really feel that way. Pugilism, Larry Holmes draws the line for all-time great. If you can pass the eye test beating Larry Holmes, you're an all-time great. Larry Holmes is a tough fighter, man. Tough, great fighter. Some people hated him for what he did to Ali. Mickey Rourke. Usyk is not an all-time 5 because he will not go out on his sword like all the greats. He not to fight the Lion Moses sooner. He'll have to fight the Lion Moses sooner rather than later to be considered 5 all-time. But he won't because he ducks. Well, see, there is no one fighter that's going to make you top 10 or top 5. It's not one fighter. What Moses Itauma is not going to dictate his whole legacy, bro. You have to understand what dictate where he goes into, in the all-time great list is his accomplishment, my G. Is how many titles he won, how many champions he beat, how many did he become undisputed? Yes, in both divisions that he fought. That's what decides where you put him on. Not whether or not he beat Moses Itauma, who hasn't even fought for a title yet. You got to understand, for the fans, we want that fight. For his legacy, he don't need that fight, bro. Moses Itauma, a 20-year-old kid, if he beat him, people just going to say, yeah, but he was only 20. He was only 20. Moses Itauma not even a world champion. Don't got a title. Usyk don't got nothing to gain from beating Moses Itauma, bro. Nothing. A lot of risk. A lot of risk. That's the perfect example of high risk, low reward. Beat a 20-year-old kid, nobody's going to give you credit for it. People are going to say, yeah, you beat him because he was only 20 years old. The letter M, Sean Porter defeated Usyk. You see, there you have it. That shows you how physically small Usyk is. That he fought Porter in the amateurs. And Porter never fought his entire professional career north of welterweight, ever. Porter never fought at 154, ever. So it shows you Usyk body type. You're a small dude. The lunatic librarian. I remember sparring a 6'5", 280 ginger. Shit was crazy. Ooh. And them ginger motherfuckers be strong as hell. Probably had that ginger strength too. Pasatrack. Jack Johnson was a great athlete all around, bro. Jack could have boxed today. He was Panther. Now, I think he could have boxed today because people make that mistake of thinking if you bring a fighter from back in the day, they're going to fight the same way today. No, if he's training today, his skills are going to be more modern. But I would say he could box for his era. But if you look at his mechanics, his movement, his skills, nah, he can't box like the guys from more modern era, more modern boxers. Nah. He was very strong. He was a guy who, and I'm glad somebody brought up Wilder with his name. He was a guy that was very big. And if you look, I saw a lot of his fights, and the video quality is not even that good. But he was way bigger than his opponents. He looked like a giant in front of some of them dudes. I know some of them white dudes were scared as hell, like, oh man, I'm gonna have to fight this giant motherfucker. He looked like a giant, so he was pummeling what looked like little dudes, bro. He came up in an era of boxing where, like Wilder, he was able to outpower everybody. Big and strong. But skills-wise, nobody from those days beats guys from the modern era. I say the modern era, I'm referring to, you know, Muhammad Ali and afterwards. Because I would say after Ali, you started seeing it in all of the different divisions with fighters displaying more footwork, more defensive skills, you know, more in their arsenal, more little things doing offensively, like the step back, for example. Pow, pow. That came into play. The Philly shell, there's a lot of little different things that had not been developed in boxing when Jack Johnson fought. He got the primitive old school skills. Double AD, how can you say he won't go out on his sword? When do you see Usyk quit or give up? Mickey, where are you coming from to this conclusion? I don't even understand it. Usyk is, like, have you been watching his career, the type of opponents he's been facing, and he's undefeated? What are we talking about? Shaggy, my nephew won the Midwest Regional Golden Gloves at 154. Sean Whiteface. Tucson is next for the National World Championship. Whoa, salute. Yo, Shaggy, salute to your nephew, Sean Whiteface. Bam! Keep doing your thing, family. We're going to be watching you. We're looking forward to hearing that you won the championships. Mickey Rourke. Bro, Jack Johnson goes 30 rounds. My man, how exactly do you correlate the ability to go 100 rounds with skills? How are you correlating the two? Do you realize that skills has absolutely nothing to do with how many rounds you go? I could run a full marathon. I could run 42 kilometers. I could run 26 miles. No active boxers is running marathons. No active boxers can run longer distance than me. That don't mean shit when it comes to fighting. Oh, here goes 30 rounds. That don't mean shit. That means he had a lot of stamina. Nobody's questioning his toughness. Like, what the fuck is you even talking about? Nobody's talking about stamina. We talking about skills, and you bring up stamina? What? What are you confused, bro? Pugilism, Jack Johnson is all-time great. Ultimate inside fighter who can fight through the clinch for the 99 rounds. These fighters won't last versus Jack Johnson. These fighters will dance circles around him. Beat the shit out of him. Raphael. Jack was one of the first fighters to implement new techniques and a new style with the jab. The lunatic librarian, Jack Johnson, beat the shit out of white man, while other white men were saying they were going to hang him. And after the fight, different level, for real. Pasta track, Jack Johnson was about dropping you with body shots. You could go to work the next day. JJ's announced Rock'em Sock'em Robot Styles back then. That's what I'm trying to tell the people. They not understanding that. It was a different style of boxing. There was not the same skills of today. Now, it's not even close. Look, watch this. Watch this. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you a clip. I'm going to show you an actual Jack Johnson clip. Right? This is an actual clip from his fights. This is an actual clip. I want to show you. Look. That's an actual clip of his fights. And I'm trying to tell you, I'm not trying to tell you that he couldn't fight, but look. Look, he literally just beating him up. Just beating him up. Look. If you watch, and here's the deal. Because people get defensive real quick. Here's the deal. I'm not telling you that Jack Johnson isn't an all-time great. I'm not telling you that he isn't a great fighter. I never said that. In his era, he was a great fighter. But he fought in an era where boxing was at its infancy. So you didn't see the same skill level in him that you saw in modern fighters. Look at his footwork, his feet was all over the place, and he was just stronger. He was just bigger. Look at his feet. Bro, nah, come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Salute to the all-time great. All-time great. But boxing was in its infancy back then. So the skills of then is not the skills of today, my people. See Jack Johnson throwing punches that look like Deontay Wilder punches. And running in the ring and shoving them. Like, nah. It's a different. So he fought in an era where boxing was. Let me give you an example so you could see. Look at the basketball players from the 60s. Huh? The basketball players from the 60s that to them doing a trick was bouncing the ball and going like that. How you gonna compare those basketball players, they handle skills and they dribble skills with the modern basketball players that's like how can you compare that? How can you compare the 1960s Globetrotters with the guys doing N1 mixtape in 1998 with Skip to My Loop? You can't compare it, my peoples. Why? Because the guys playing basketball in the 60s, they had primitive skills. Basketball was newer. Guys playing basketball now, they got the benefit of all the new moves that has been developed throughout the time. Same thing with boxing. It's the same deal. You look at the heavyweights that fought back in those days, and you look at the heavyweights of today, it's not even close the skill level. Not even close. But I'm telling you, if Jack Johnson fought today, he would still be a great heavyweight because he would not bring the skills from the 60s or the 50s to fight today. He will be trained today and he will be a modern fighter. That's simple. Make it roar. You read my comment wrong, Jay Smith. I'm not bringing up stamina. I'm responding to the dude saying, respect the pioneers, not advocating. He could today. Oh, okay. No, Ed. Look, what I'm saying goes with respecting the pioneers. And that's why I consider him an all-time great during his era, because you have to understand, we're looking at who's around in your era. Right now, we could hypothetically compare Jack Johnson to modern day heavyweights, but that's not going to happen, right? That's just our speculation of what we think would happen. But ultimately, in Jack Johnson's era, he was the best. He was the best of that era. That's how you become an all-time great, by dominating your era, because we don't know what would have happened in a different era. We don't know. We know that you dominated in yours. So Jack Johnson is an all-time great. But I'm telling you, back then, those skills are not the same as what you see today. Can't have that. Make it roar. Sugar Ray Robinson definitely can fight in any era. I agree, lunatic. You know, Sugar Ray Robinson, I think he could have fought in any era because I think he's right there at the threshold, maybe when boxing started to get modern. He got to that part, and he had modern day skills. So I think because of that, you put him in any era. But I think the fighters that came a generation before him, they couldn't have messed with nobody from today. I mean, think about if you go to boxing's infancy, when people was fighting like this. Imagine that. There's dudes that fought like this, that in their era, they was elite level and champions. But you can't take any of those guys and bring them today like this. They all getting knocked out brutally. They all gonna be out there looking like goofballs. The letter M, Chamberlain versus Ali, was supposed to happen. Even got promoted. And G, greatest versus the biggest. Wilt got intimidated by Ali and folded. I mean, that should have never happened. I'm glad it did not happen. Wilt Chamberlain wasn't even a boxer. That wouldn't have made no sense. Pasatrack, he had a nice uppercut. Mickey Rourke. Wilt knew he didn't want smoke with Ali. It would have been bigger than the rumble in the jungle. Wilt backed out. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain would have got knocked out, and he knows it. Why would a non-boxer fight a heavyweight champion of the world? It would have been brutal. Pugilism. The guard manipulation is highly experienced level skill set. Being comfortable in the pocket. Being comfortable in the pocket is not it's a skill set, but it's not a technically, it's not a physical technical skill. That's a mental skill where how you move inside the pocket, how you handle that type of pressure. But still, the skills from back then, all we have to do is watch it. I'm showing you. And look at the footwork was almost non-existent. Guys was literally walking around in the ring. Walking around and nah, it's not even close. The skill set of, if we put a video of Jack Johnson and a video of any heavyweight of the last 10 years, any heavyweight champion of the last 10 years, they all look better than him. They all look more technically sharp. They all look faster. The only thing that he could have on modern heavyweights is strength. He was a strong dude. But strength got nothing to do with skills. You're just strong. He was big and strong. When you watch the fights, skills, I'll show you highlights. When we watch the fight, skills is not really what come to mind. And I'm not telling you that Jack Johnson wasn't a skilled fighter. He was a skilled fighter. But what stood out the most is that he was big and strong. Is that he was bullying these guys that look little in front of him. Baiting them up, chasing them around the ring. That's what stood out. He was a physical freak of nature. Pasatrack. Jack was like 6'4", 230. Fighting guys 5'10", 185. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When you replay his fights, he looked like a giant in front of most of his opponents. Pummeling this little motherfucker. Pummeling him. Pugilism. They may have good footwork, avoiding conflict and pacing for 12 rounds. But when it's time to fight under pressure, they also fold. I don't even know who is they, my brother. Who are they? Have you seen Tyson Fury folding? Have you seen Usyk folding? Have you seen Caballero folding? Have you seen Moses Itama folding? Who are you talking about? Have you seen Fabio Worley folding? Who's folding? Mickey Rourke, Joe Louis will be 6'1" KO, modern heavyweights. Pasatrack. The reason they fought different is because they didn't punch in the face as much. Because you break your hand. And back then, you needed to work. That could be part of it in some cases. But the main reason is simply that boxing was at its infancy. It had not been developed yet. The step back counter didn't even exist back then. The Philly shell, it did not exist back then. There's a lot of little things that fighters do today that just didn't exist, that people wasn't doing it. People wasn't even doing it, wasn't even considering. The elite level footwork back then, that shit didn't exist. There was a few fighters. But most fighters was on some rock'em sock'em robot shit. So little by little, boxing was developed as a sport, and now we got these elite level. So I'm gonna say this: defense and footwork has been around. Like even since back then, it's been around. I've seen fighters that I can't remember their name from what black and white TV era that was already using the footwork and moving. But the thing is that those fighters were ridiculed. Even now, because you see now how they try to do Shakur and all of that. Back then, those fighters had no popularity. Nobody really cared for them much. You know, like, the narrative that they're runners and they're boring and they're clowns. And what are you doing? Stand and fight. Stand and get beat up like a man. That's the mindset, right? So there's been fighters doing that. To be honest, I'm not sure when it got popularized. I know that Sugar Ray Leonard, was one of those fighters that he could beat you up, but he also had that real slick footwork, that movement. But ultimately, modern day skills of any sport topple the back in the day shit. Any sport. If you look at basketball now, basketball from the 60s, you'll see it right there. If you see a football now, football from the 60s. If you see baseball now, baseball from the 60s. Anything that you see now is going to be more modern skills than when the sport was, newer in its development. The Lunatic Librarian, Sugar Ray versus Hagler, Hearns, Roy Jones, James Toney, Tarver, Sergio Martinez, Golovkin, Canelo, etc. I got Ray Robinson. Mickey Rourke. Yes, that's why Ali was such an anomaly and considered dancer, because he didn't care about being called a dancer. He responded with the prettiest heavyweight. Sammy Chiba. Bring back the 15 rounds. Nah, hell no. Don't bring that back. I don't want to see people punch drunk. I don't want to see people who can't take care of their family because they being driven around in a wheelchair. No. Don't bring back no 15 rounds, please. Pass the track. Ray Robinson made Ali. Ali could have fought at any time and been champ. Ray could have fought today. I believe it. There's some guys, but like I said, Ray Robinson, he was at an era where he was right there as boxing was getting modernized. So when you see his fights, you see modern day skills in Ray Robinson, like you saw in Muhammad Ali, obviously. But when you go further back, they don't look like that, bro, at all. Pugilism. Ali inside fighting and guard manipulation was how he beat Big George Foreman. Pasta track. Dumbass championship rounds. I mean, goddamn, how many championship rounds? The goddamn whole fight? Damn near championship rounds at some point. Imagine when they fought 24 rounds. It's like, goddamn, is it 10 rounds and 14 championship rounds? Shit. The letter M are gingers harder to knock out, like Crawford said, due to pain tolerance. I mean, that's the thing. There's two parts of being knocked out. There's pain tolerance and then there's toughness. Because you could have pain tolerance, but if you get hit in the right spot, you're still going to sleep. But if you don't have that mental toughness, then you give up. You're taking enough shots, you don't want no more, you give up. And gingers tend to have that mental toughness. Double AD. They're always an anomaly in sport that was great in his era, and you say he could have played in any era. But for most part, your sports evolved to where it's so much better than most wouldn't. I mean, that's a fact. In reality, you cannot take people who played when the sport started and were really good and think that they're as good as the people who play today. No, there's been a lot of progression in the sport, and people are better today than they were back then. Sammy Chiba, knockouts and pain tolerance, very different. Mickey Rourke. No race of humans have less or higher pain tolerance. Oye, esa vaina. Pasta track. Was Danny Boy Green a redhead? Danny Boy Green? Who's Danny Boy Green? I don't know who that is right now. Maybe you could refresh my recollection. Sammy Chiba, I got knocked out, and it didn't even hurt. I mean, you're sleeping. It can't hurt. If you're not conscious, it's not going to hurt. The letter M. Like Jordan is the best, but Curry will probably shoot him out the gym. Pass the track. I don't think there's really been much evolution in terms of talent since the 70s. Nah, I would say they have. I would say. Because Floyd Mayweather is an evolution that we didn't see nothing like Floyd in the 70s. There was nothing like Floyd Mayweather back then. There was nobody, like, there's fighters who did raise the bar since the 70s. Mickey Rourke, if that was true, we would have a lot more redhead champs other than Canelo. Nah, Mickey Rourke, you're wrong about that, because your pain tolerance, the fact that you can handle pain doesn't mean that you got skills, doesn't mean that you got talent, doesn't mean that you're going to be able to box better than me. It just means that it's going to be hard to knock you out. You're going to take a beating. You're going to go the distance. Why would you be a champion because you could take a beating? That don't even make no sense. Just because you got pain tolerance, you're going to be a champion? Come on now. Pain tolerance don't make you a champion. You know how many Mexican fighters never been stopped, never been knocked out, and took mad beatings? Never even come close to being stopped. So look, right there, I'm giving you an example. Mexicans are hard to stop. A young, strong Mexican, you're going to beat the shit out of him. And it's going to go the distance. You're going to beat him up, but he's going to go the distance. You go in 12. It happens. But just because you could take a beating doesn't mean you're going to become a world champion, bro. What are you talking about? You're saying, oh, well, you know, if people could take a beating, there would be more world champions like that. Nah. You got to twist it right there. The letter M, Floyd Mayweather, in the 70s and 80s, would be a boxing god. I mean, he would have been the king of the kings. He would have been the king of the four kings. Sammy Chiva, people don't understand how good Canelo actually is. I mean, he's an all-time great. Canelo's an all-time great. There's no getting around that. Pugilism, Floyd would be a problem in any era. Just like Ali. They can do it all. Fight off the back foot. End of the jab, the pivot, the fighting. Look, I gotta tell you like this. Floyd Mayweather and Ali have something in common. That they were both very sharp with the hands, and they were both the best defensive fighter of their era. We've never seen, till this day, we never seen a fighter with the defense Ali had. In his prime. Talking about prime Ali. To this day, we ain't seen a heavyweight that had that defense. Think about all the heavyweights. Think about Usyk, think about Fury, think about Wilder, the heavyweight champions. Wilder and other world champions before that. Who we could say got a defense that could match with Ali's? Nobody. So when you have that combination, when you have both, you're great on the offensive side, but also on the defense. That's right there, the recipe for all-time greatness. Double AD, just look at golf. Before Tiger, it was unheard of that guys that young win majors. Today, look how young guys are dominating. You see? Again, the evolution of the sport. But you know why golf evolutionized that way? Because before Tiger Woods, a lot of kids wasn't trying to play no golf. Young kids wasn't trying to play no goddamn golf. So he popularized it in such a way that you saw young men now trying to make it to the majors at 18 years old, trying to accomplish things, because that's what happens. When you push the bar in the sport, a lot follow you to do the same, and then somebody shows up that's trying to surpass you. Tiger Woods, listen, golf before Tiger Woods was like this big in the U.S. before Tiger Woods. The only time that I ever sat down to watch golf was when Tiger Woods was on his run, that he was winning back-to-back majors and the Tiger Grand Slam and everything. My whole life, I've never followed golf. I never watched golf. But when Tiger Woods went on that run, that he won the Masters, won the Open, won the Australian, I was actually watching golf. It made it that interesting for me that I wanted to watch. I started learning the lingo. Oh shit, he going for birdie. Ooh, Tiger with the birdie. That's it, I became a golf fan. But as Tiger Woods' career started to dwindle down, so did my interest in golf. And that's it, I don't watch golf. Unless there's like a highlight somewhere, some goal, some hole in one that somebody did. I ain't watching it. I ain't really watching it like that. My peoples, listen to this, my peoples. Zuffa Boxing posted saying dominant from start to finish when Conor Benn won. And look what Arnold Barboza said to them. Hope you guys can get a refund. Damn, that's cold. That's Conor Benn looking like Eminem on meth. So, Conor Benn is still catching a lot of heat. Still a lot of people saying that his performance wasn't good, that it wasn't all that. $15 million, what they gave him $15 million for, all type of stuff. And it's like, damn, I'm really in a lonely island on this one. Because I've been saying, I felt like it was a good win. Good win for Conor Benn. I mean, the letter M, you have to take this into consideration. He won almost every round in the fight. And you know, that was their guy, so they're going to put a little spice on it when they talk about it. But he won almost every round in the fight. I gave Regis 2 rounds at most. 2 rounds. So 10 rounds to 2, you got your ass for it. You got dominated. Mickey Rourke, oh Lord. The Benn boy, he deserves all the heat until he fights a champion in their prime. Sammy Chiba, yo, you heard Paulie Malignaggi loses his shit. Yeah, he went at it. He went berserk. Berserk. Pasatrack, this Benn kid was highly touted. No. I mean, but I don't understand why people are so angry. He won. Right? He won. His last fight, he won. Versus Eubank Jr. And he did exactly what he was supposed to do. But not only did he win, this is what I don't understand the most about that fight. And why I feel like it's Conor Benn hate what we're seeing. The fight was good. In the first round, Conor Benn wobbled him. They went back and forth. Regis Prograis landed some hard shots on Conor Benn. Conor Benn returned fired. And that was the ebb and flow throughout the fight. Conor Benn applying constant pressure. Regis Prograis returning fire. Sometimes he will miss. Sometimes he will catch it with some good shots. But it was a good fight. It was an entertaining fight. It was an action-packed fight. It was a fun-to-watch fight. What are people crying about? Isn't this what boxing is supposed to be? That we get good fights that we can enjoy? Or boxing is about storylines. It's a soap opera where we need the storyline that we like. Don't we get entertained by the actual fight, what happens inside the ring? That shit was a good fight. Everybody's saying everything but that. Did you guys think it was a boring fight to watch? Tell me that. Was it boring? Were you bored? Or were you not entertained? Pasatrack, this Benn kid was highly touted. Mickey Rourke, that's good fight. Okay, that's good fight for number 1 in your division. I know you don't believe it. But there you go, Mickey Rourke. You're like, that's good fight for number 1 in your division. I'm not talking about for anything. I'm just talking about what we watched on TV. Was it a good fight? Yes. It was a good fight. But I guess in order To avoid admitting that it was a good fight, you're adding the for number 1 in the division. Forget about for number 1. It could be for number 50. What happened inside the ring, the way they traded leather, it was a good fight. It was a fun fight to watch. I called it, I know. The letter M, Jay. You know it wasn't how they want to make it seem. Progress didn't get squashed. I mean, he didn't get squashed, bro, but you're actually going with my point. Progress fought back, fought hard, had some moments in the fight. It made it a good fight, bro. It made it a good fight. It made it, Regis made it competitive. The letter M, boxing and storylines go hand in hand. Nah, they don't go hand in hand. Fans make it go hand in hand. They don't go hand in hand at all. Because the fight that go inside the ring, that's really what it's all about. What happened inside the ring. Was it good? Was it bad? Look how fans like narratives. If it's Shakur, you was bored. It was bored. It put you to sleep. If it's Conor Benn, beat the shit out of Regis Prograis. Nah, but it should have been different. It was a good fight. What do you want? Good fight. I didn't hear not one person tell me, yo, that was a boring fight. Regis Prograis versus Conor Benn, it was a boring fight. I didn't hear nobody tell me they fell asleep. I didn't hear nobody tell me they couldn't pay attention because it was boring. Pugilism, I was super entertained. When I bet on a fight, oh man, yeah, I forgot, you're the gambling addict. I was waiting for you to bring some betting shit up. Mickey Rourke, it was a good fight because of Rougarou, not because of Ben. That doesn't make no sense, my guy. It takes two to dance. It takes two to dance. And it had to be a good fight because of Conor Benn, because he had the higher punch output. Conor Benn threw and landed more punches. How exactly did Rougarou make it better and not Conor Benn? When he pressed the action and applied pressure. What are we talking about? This is more about people not liking Conor Benn than about the actual fight, because it was a fun fight to watch. And it's like nobody want to admit it. Like, yo, that was a fun fight. That was a good fight. I want to admit it. Daisy Sanchez, I can't wait for Nakatani versus Inoue. Ooh. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that real quick because that is a great fight. Pass the track. The way they made Eubank Kid and Ben Kid sound, they should be champions. Well, Eubank Jr. been a champion. I don't know if you knew this, but he been a champion. The letter M. Fighting build-ups. Those show training. Those face-offs. Those interviews. Trash tank. All storyline. But we're talking about the fight. We're talking about the actual fight. You stuck on storyline. We're talking about the fight and what happened in the ring. See how you want to stay stuck on storyline? That's what's going on. You want to be stuck on storyline. Because all those other things that you're talking about, those are conversations that we're having. But if we're talking about the fight, why are you having a hard time admitting that it was a good, entertaining fight? Why people don't want to accept that? I don't know why. It was a good fight. My peoples, this one is coming up next month, man. This one is coming up next month. And it's going to be a good one, man. Gonna be a good one, my peoples. Naoya Inoue versus Junto Nakatani is probably going to be a fight of the year candidate. This is a true 50-50 fight. They're evenly matched up. And I told you guys this before. Nakatani and Inoue, they have very, very similar skill set. I'm talking about their jab. It's almost identical. The way they step into that jab and put that body weight. Because some fighters, they just touch you up with the jab. Inoue, he shoot the jab like he's trying to hurt you with it. Pow, pow, but all his body weight behind it. Junto Nakatani does the same thing. They're very, very similar. Styles make fights. Remember that. For the people who think that Nakatani is going to struggle because in his last fight, he didn't blow his opponent out of the water, so he knows he's going to beat him. You don't dominate everybody. Inoue didn't dominate Nonito Donaire in the first fight. Inoue didn't knock Picasso out. I went the distance. You don't knock or dominate everybody out. It just doesn't happen. So with the style that Nakatani has, which is very similar to the monster, you can expect a 50-50 fight. They're going to go back and forth. This might turn into one of those that the winner is the guy who wins the championship rounds. Because they're going to be going back and forth. The ebb and flow. And it's that guy who wants it more at the end who's probably going to walk out of there with the W. Because another thing about these guys, they could take a shot. Both of them. Both of them. I've seen both of them get racked. And then right after that, go crazy hard on their opponent. They could take a shot. But when you see a guy that could take a punch and keep going, there's a possibility this thing goes 12. Good possibility. Side, Nakatani lost his last fight in my opinion. I got Inoue by KO late. Ooh. A prediction. Look, I'm going to be honest. I have not been able to make a prediction on this fight yet. I will, of course. But I haven't been able to, man. These guys can't fight. They're both elite level, undefeated world champions. It don't get no better. Mickey Rourke. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Core has any KO power to stop Ben. Unless he drain him. Like Ben drained Usyk. Pass the track. I mean, I don't know about the power to stop him, but Conor Benn is fool for Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson cooks him easily. Easily. The letter M. You bugging. Shakur no power. You tripping. I mean, that's part of the Shakur hate narrative. Pass the track. Them little guys have nice techniques. They sharp. Super sharp. Super fast with the hands. The combination. Accurate punching. Bro. I'm looking forward to this fight. This is going to be a real good one. My peoples, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. I hope you enjoy this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. If you're a member of the channel, I went live yesterday night for a few minutes. Check out that live. And I got to tell you, my peoples, those of you who are not members, which is the majority, because only a few people are actually members of the channel. My peoples, I'm working on a show that is only gonna air for the members. It's gonna be a members only live. It's actually called like that. It's gonna be called like that. Members only. And it's gonna be a show that only the members will get to see. And trust me, my peoples, I'm cooking up something marvelous. So if you're not a member of Box Center, yo, become a member, man. It's cheaper than a goddamn coffee from Starbucks. Coffee from Starbucks be $7, $8. Membership, $4.99. $5, you got a membership. And you're going to get some crazy boxing content. By the way, I drop videos for the members only. But this show for members only is going to be crazy, my peoples. We're going to set shit on fire. Daisy Sanchez. How can Shakur murder Conor when he can't even get a KO? Now, he's just going to outbox him and make it look easy. Down circles around him. Circles around him. The letter M. Is Box Center the show a members only show? So Box Center, right? I was doing Box Center the show, and that's not members only. That's for everybody. But I'm not doing it because the videos that I do for the show, which is, 20-minute videos, 30-minute videos, a lot of people are not watching them. If you look at the videos, and I got the last Box Center the show that I posted, that shit thing got like 80 views. So it's like, damn, man, for me to do that show, it could take me days, 3 days, recording and editing. And then this shit get like 50 views. So I'm not doing Box Center the show like that because people just not tuning in. But I'm doing a show that's for members only, and it's going to be similar to Box Center the show. The only difference that I got to tell you guys is Whatever we talking about on Boxing for Breakfast, we not talking about in the members only show. So it's not like I'm repeating another Boxing for Breakfast, but for members only. No, this is a whole different show with a whole different concept. And all the members, any member is going to be able to go on the live to express their opinion or just talk about whatever they want to talk about related to boxing, of course. So I think that's going to be one of the difference of the members only show, that the link is going to be available for everyone to tap in and jump in and say whatever you want to say. So you're going to have more access to make those arguments and join those debates. Pasta Track, Jay, you ever thought about getting into presser and try to get an interview? Now, if you look at this channel, I got multiple interviews. I got interviews with fighters. I got interviews with referees. I got interviews with coaches. But it's hard for me to do it consistently because I don't have a name yet. I'm not famous yet. So it's hard for me to get the fighters that we talk about daily. It's hard for me to get them on here. I've had a couple of fighters tell me, don't worry, Jay, keep grinding. I'm going to come through one of these days. I don't even want to tell you the names because you won't even believe it. And even if you believe it, I don't want to set the tone for you waiting for it. And I don't know when it's going to happen. But I've already spoke behind the scene to some world champions, elite level world champions. I told me one of these days, yeah, I got you. But I got to wait, I got to get my popularity up too. If you're a champion and you're going to YouTube channels where they have 50,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, and I only got 2,800 subscribers, you're not exactly motivated to come on here for 2,800 people. So I respect it and I understand that. I got to keep grinding. We got to keep growing. It's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. Mickey Rourke, Jay Smith always getting my mornings right. Time to get to this money train. Salute, family. Go get this paper, man. Can't knock you. Get that money. Whoa, CQ, do you box? I used to, bro. I'm too old. 47 years old, my guy. The letter M. I feel like you should focus on shorts a lot. People's mind span is by the records these days. So if you check out the channel, you're going to notice I post mad shorts. Almost daily I post shorts. But because I've been getting shadow banned from YouTube, those shorts don't get as much exposure as they should. Before I was shadow banned, I had shorts with 8,000, 10,000 views. Now you see my shorts for months. I'm talking about, if you look at my shorts for the last 6 months, most of them, bro, 80 views, 70 views, 50 views, 110 views, like that. For months, they've been stuck like that. Whoa, I box. Salute, family. Bam. If you never had a fight, you shouldn't talk boxing. No, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you on that. I had a fight, by the way. But I don't agree with you on that. Like, damn. So everybody who didn't box just needs to shut up. It's going to be a very boring conversation if everybody's not allowed to tune in and discuss their opinion on it. The letter M. YouTube hating on Jay Stradamus. It's been crazy, man. I've been going through it. You guys know I had some strikes. And it's not just YouTube. Sometimes we happen to think that it's YouTube. But in reality, it's also haters. People who call in and report the channel over and over. And people who actually team up and get together and they all do it at the same time. Shit like that happens. People got that hate. Pasta Track. And Jay has a fight. Mickey Rourke. What's your name? Let's look up your fights. Let's do it. Whoa. Talk to me, my brother. Let's check out your box track so we can show the people the work that you've been putting in. Hip hop for life. Ryan whoops Conor Benn. I'm going to be honest, man. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people saying that Ryan Garcia is going to cook him. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. It's a good fight. I think it's a competitive fight. The letter M. Just because I didn't box, does that mean I have no love for the sport? I love boxing and no fights like the back of my mind. I mean, it's what I'm saying, Boxing is for everybody. Talking boxing is for everybody. Not boxing doesn't mean that you can't talk about the sport or that you don't have something good to say about the sport. Mickey Rourke. You have any fights? I guarantee you do not. I mean, I don't know what happened, bro, but we'll see. The moment we asked him about if he fights, I ain't hear from him since. Golly, bro, disappeared. My peoples, once again, man, I'm about to get the hell out of here. Shout out to those who tuned in for this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is for you. 2 things that I'm going to ask you. Share this content, my peoples. I stay getting shadow banned by YouTube, so a lot of people can't see my videos, can't see this live, can't join in on the fun with us. So go ahead, man. Share these lives, these videos. Share them on your Facebook or on your TikTok. Just share them everywhere, my peoples. Right? Look, right now it's 18 people. Even if 5 of you, 5, share this live, that helps the channel grow. Fuck it. Even if one of you says, yeah, man, I'm going to look out for you. Bam, bam, go on your Facebook. Bam, share this live. That one share helps out. Let's do it, my peoples. I'm headed for number 1. But I could get there in a year, or I could get there in 5, 6 years because nobody wanted to help, so I had to take the long route. Damn, man, don't push me to take the long route, my peoples. Daisy Sanchez, if Ryan is smart, he'll fight Conor in a bigger fight than Teal. He only has 5 fans. Double AD, I stay your shit. Have a good day. I appreciate you, my brother. Bam. My peoples, once again. Oh, Pasta Track, 70 years. I'm about to get the hell out of here. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. This was another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow, man. 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We get to do it again. We get to enjoy the sweet science.